Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. Glad that everyone's here. Um, we got a special guest, which I've been
Special.
waiting for a long time to join. And we got Jay.
I had to wait for that check to clear. We're good. I still got a box of clothes that belong to Cole Hauser that he hasn't picked up yet. A box. And it keeps growing.
I will get that box when I'm in Orlando in March. So it's all good. Just quickly, want to thank Kiwi for the thumbnails. Want to thank Anjanette and Angel for our intro. So just give them a shout out. Thanks to them.
She's been quite the AI wizard down there, hasn't she?
I don't know how.
I think Anjanette is the daughter from Daughter's Revenge.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I totally looked the part today. I figured I better make some effort. There we go.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're gonna talk some Transformers. Because that's one of the things how I found Jay is his when he had his I first found Jay at his 5 p.m. show on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that today just because of that. I was just like figuring out the best time to pick. So
it's all good.
So but yeah, I found out that Jay was heavily into Transformers, Starscream. So it's one of the things that I really enjoyed, and I started following him, watching his shows, watching his take on Star Wars. So Jay, introduce yourself.
Man, I'm just Jay. No one special. Cole Hauser's a big man. He's one of the few people in this world that make me look small, and I appreciate that. So when we go into a building together, people look at him and not me. So it's nice. But yeah.
Well, it's like that time when we went to Wonderland together.
Yeah, Wonderland.
We dressed the same. We had the same shirt. We basically same hat, same shorts.
We're twins, sort of.
Yeah, basically. So Ebony and Ivory. So
I saw the picture on X. It did look funny.
So quickly, Jay, because I know you've been so busy with your book with Daughter's Revenge.
Yeah.
Can you give us an update on how that's going?
It's doing unbelievably well. Actually, we have crossed 1,130 books sold. And I didn't think we would hit that mark until next weekend, tell you the truth. So, I'm hoping that we can, hit 2,000 by next weekend. My whole thing was to push until, my ultimate goal would be 5,000 books sold. And, and I will push that hard until we either get close or no one could say I didn't try, So.
Well, the numbers have been fantastic, especially I think on Bro Science with Beardo, Blaine, and X-Wing, where you crossed over 1,000.
Yeah.
So this has been fantastic. So
pretty cool.
Everyone, if you haven't picked it up yet, I know Anjanette's going to drop the link in the chat. So. Keep buying. Let everybody know. Let all your friends know. Let everybody know this is the book to get. It's like when I picked up
Chronicles Blue, Achromatic Chronicles,
Achromatic Chronicles Blue, and then Green. So I picked those up. So just keep it.
And you might even find a Starscream type character in that pirate book. A lot of things that we enjoy in pop culture tends to rub off in other writings and stuff like that. You could see oh, they got inspiration from that. They got inspiration from that. So you never know.
I'll tell you, for you, Jay, if you see in my background, I got some Starscreams there. Got the coordination Starscream masterpiece. Got one from Japan. Got the commemorative Starscream. So
do you have a G1?
G1 is in the box. Same with my but it's not graded like yours.
Yes.
But I do have yeah. See,
look at this bad boy right here. There's my pride and joy right there. The graded G1. It's what is it? 80? Yeah, 80. So
Very, very.
usually they got the usually they have like K and B or something like that sticker on there,
Yeah.
but this one didn't. This one did not have one. So pretty awesome. This is the one this is though, I have a couple like wonderful classic toys like that I wouldn't I wouldn't be upset if I sold them. This one ain't going nowhere. So this one this is my number. This is one over Luke Skywalker and all them. So this is the one.
Oh wow.
I bought this in North Carolina at the Toy Con, and I remember the guy had it. He had it set for $5,000 on Thursday, and every day he took $1,000 off.
Oh wow.
And I waited, and I was scared because I was like, man, I don't know if I'll ever find one like that ever, in that condition without the hole punch and 80 proof, all that stuff. I was like, I was scared that someone was going to buy it. And I waited to the last day. And I got this thing for over 50% off what he was originally selling.
Wow.
I feel like he had to, like he was there, even if he was going to take a loss. I think he was there he needed to make money for something, So,
yeah. So
I quickly swooped in and like stole his heart. You know what he was selling that day though?
What?
He was selling an almost perfect graded Snake Eyes, like the first one. And he had that sucker at $15,000, man.
That was in 1982, right?
Yeah. The first ever Snake Eyes. It was like in dude. He had that thing Starscream was in there too. He had these in these lock cases that had like some kind of air pressure or like humidor or whatever it was. He had that, and he had it like it was like covered in bubble wrap and like you couldn't. So you had to like tell him, I was like, can I see that one? But like the guy was like, he wasn't even gonna take it out unless you were serious. Like, no, you're not holding it for a picture. So when I got the Starscream, he was like, man, you can't, you're not going to believe the deal you got, bro. Like, you don't understand. Like, you're not going to believe that. He went on and on. I'm like, okay. Thank you. And I'm like trying to leave. And he's telling me, he goes, if you put that in the car, make sure you put it in the trunk, lay it flat. He goes, here's all this bubble wrap. He's like, don't mess it up. I was like, okay, bro, I got you, man. I got you. And he was like, when you take it home, don't ever tilt it up like this. Lay it flat. Put it in a seal. Like he was going on and on. I'm like, all right. I was like, I bought it to show it off. I'm not gonna buy it to like keep it in a hole. But some people are like that, and that's man. That's their thing.
I didn't want to.
As I set it on the ground,
Poor man's having a stroke.
He really cared. I'll give him that. Which also told me that this is was well taken care of. But you don't want to know what's crazy? When you spend like $1,000 on or more on something that's graded, you should, if they have a grader there, like from CGC, you're supposed to take that product to the CGC and let them confirm that it's actually in a that they really did it. So I was fortunate enough too, where actually the seller was like, hey, I'll prove to you. So we went over to CGC, and like I didn't even think about that before, that people would fake it just to sell it for more money, like they make fakes. So we took it over to CGC. They were like, yep, all good, man, all good. They like looked it up on some data. I don't know how it works, but
well, I remember if back in the day, if you remember Toy Fair and Wizard, you would they would have the listings of the certain years that came out, so they would know which ones to grade and which ones not to. Because the problem is, I'm finding today is all the knockoffs.
Crazy
that are out there. It is bad, because I remember just a few weeks ago I was on Marketplace. I found a G1 Hound and a G1 Protect-A-Bot gift set. So that's the one that has all 5 Protect-A-Bots. and it was, the Hound was selling for like $30, and then the Protector box was selling for about 90. I kept on asking, "Are you sure this is G1 and it's not a knockoff?" "Oh yes, 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 it is." But I just said, you know what? I looked at it. Actually, I sent the pictures to Az because Az knows, you know, the certain years and everything, and he said that's pure knockoff. So I just told the lady, thanks but no thanks, because she was just selling it. And then it was funny because that day Az sent me he sent me pictures of a blue streak, and he asked me if this was a knockoff or not because they only had one picture of it online. So I said, you know what, for the price, you know, you take your chances, because you know, because of the auctions out there of everything, you just don't know.
Well, they did make some of the G1 toys. They remade them, like they're like second made, and like if you're not really understanding like collecting and understanding what it is, you could probably be fooled if you don't know what you're looking for.
Oh yeah,
so
it's like this one here.
Yeah.
So this was Hasbro, but it was part of a series that Hasbro did. They only brought out a handful. So they brought out Optimus, Inferno, Sideswipe. So like this one is original. So, but yeah, you have to be careful out there of.
And Jeanette got caught with her hat off.
Sorry, Jeanette. But I wanted to show you
the hat.
I want to show you this one, Jay, because
look at that beauty.
Like I know that I rip on you sometimes about Starscream and who's better, but I do like Starscream. Like Starscream is one of my favorites. So and I like how it says it here.
I have that one somewhere.
Yeah, this is basically new leader.
Yeah. I don't have the box though. You know that?
You gotta have the box. This is a beautiful box.
I have it. Before I moved, I had it on display on one of the. So my Starscream stuff is carefully, except for the ones I have out, like this mega statue here that's like next to me that I haven't put together yet, of King Starscream. I had that together in my other house, but it was in like the living room. That thing is like I don't even know what to do with it. Like, it's made of porcelain, I believe that's what it is. So it's like I'm scared, like if it falls, like I don't want it to smash. So you know.
Well, and like I said, for you, I did bring out some Starscreams. I got a couple more I gotta find, but then I brought out some Skyfires, if you can see behind me, and Jetfires. So because of their relationship. But one of the things I want to ask you, Jay, was I know how I got into Transformers because, you know, Transformers came on a Sunday at 11 a.m. back in '84. So that's when I literally, when I saw the first cartoon of that, and I was like, oh, what's this? This looks pretty cool. So that's when I started watching, and that's when I fell in love with Transformers. And literally the next week, I asked my dad, you know, I want Optimus Prime and I want Megatron, and like he reluctantly bought him for me. But what got you into Transformers?
When it first, I wasn't able to watch it when it first aired. Because of my school schedule, I think, where I lived. But like the next year, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. The next year, it came on. G.I. Joe and Transformers came on together, and that they moved the time down. So right when I got home from elementary school, I believe, it was on like right when I came home. So, and we would always miss G.I. Joe. Like we'd always, like by the time we had to walk home from school, you know, and it's like we got home and G.I. Joe was halfway done, and then the Transformers was on, and it just became a thing, man. All my friends were like, we all walked home. I was like the first little townhouse, and we'd all go to my house first, and we'd all watch an episode of the Cartoon Transformers. Shout out Garfield, man. Thank you. Says congrats on your book. Already ordered my copy. Man, I appreciate it, brother. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. And then it was like when the toys got out, forget about it, man. Like who didn't want 2 toys in one? Now, I think one of the reasons why I didn't get as many G.I. Joes, not that I didn't not like G.I. Joe, I liked it just the same. I think it's because I had a lot of Star Wars action figures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I didn't want the G.I. Joe action figure. I wanted the Transformer because that was different than like the standard style action figures. Even though the G.I. Joe action figures are superior to the Star Wars ones because they can move their elbows and knees and stuff. So it was the toys, you know, and God bless my mom, love her to death. She knew me and my brother wanted Transformers, and that first year for Christmas we got GoBots because she didn't know the difference. So it was like, mom. Then you go out with your friends and they're like, that ain't Transformer, that's a GoBot. You're like, yeah, that's all we got. So
you know, it's funny because actually before I got Transformers, I got 2 GoBots. I got Space C, it was the space shuttle, and then I got Dive, the submarine, the blue submarine. So
I got Dive and Psykill.
Oh wow. So
and now now because I'm older, I'm like, I probably would like to own them graded, you know, like just as an old like remembrance of having Psykill, the motorcycle. So he was like the leader of the bad guys, I think, right?
Yeah, Psykill and Leader 1. But it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny now because Hasbro owns GoBots, so when they bought them, and I know they brought out I think it was I want to say in the mid or early 90s, Hasbro brought out a limited edition Transformer GoBots. So yeah.
My first Transformer ever was Dirge, of all people.
Oh wow.
And I don't know why that was. It's just, you know, my parents didn't know. Everybody wanted, I think everybody wanted Soundwave, and Megatron was like huge. If you got Megatron, you were like a rich kid because everybody wanted that. You could take the handgun outside and play with the handgun, right? And that was the coolest thing was, well, I don't know if it's cool, but that Megatron handgun was the last toy gun before the law changed and they had to wrap the nose in orange.
Yep.
So I had Dirge. I wanted Starscream. Like my dad just thought I wanted a plain Transformer, so they ended up getting Dirge. I remember that getting Dirge, and my brother's was he got oh man, I want to say Sunstreaker. Was his first one the Lamborghini?
Sideswipe and Sunstreaker.
Yeah, the yellow Lamborghini.
Yeah,
so
Sunstreaker.
Like that was, you know, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, and they did their very best. And Transformers was way more expensive than GoBots.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then like, you know, birthdays and stuff like added to the collection. I think that when I finally got Starscream, I thought that was pretty cool, and I didn't play with it much, but I ended up getting a Megatron, and I think the last big one that I got from my parents was the Omega Supreme. That was freaking cool. So the Omega the battle station. So
funny story about Omega Supreme, because like you, I didn't really collect. Well, I never collected Star Wars. I knew I was a big Star Wars fan, but never collected the figures. But I knew G.I. Joe was out, but I was more of a Transformer fan, so I didn't start collecting G.I. Joes till later on. But with Omega Supreme, I'll never forget. It was a Friday night. Now Fox it was Buffalo 29 at the time. They would show an action movie every Friday night. So I'm sitting there watching. I said, okay, it's cool. And then the title comes up, you know, tonight, and this is 8 p.m. So this is prime time. And it said, we have for you a G.I. Joe movie. I was like, okay, cool. So I literally got a blank cassette. I threw in the VCR to record it. So what was the movie? It was the Pyramid of Darkness. So it was the five.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it's introducing the Crimson Twins. It's introducing Quick Kick, a Footloose, all everybody. And then and that was the scene, you know, when Shipwreck and Snake Eyes had their big scenes together. But the first commercial, the very first commercial was the Omega Supreme commercial. So, because I'm just like, I see Starscream and Thrust, they're flying in, and you hear Starscream goes, "Look, there's the Autobot defense base, attack!" And after you hear Thrust goes, "Oh no, it's Omega Supreme," and then they show the kids transforming it and everything. So I remember the next day, because I recorded it, I showed it to my dad, and I said, "Listen." Well, actually, I didn't show it to him. I started playing it, and I told him to come here and go, "Oh, check that out." So he looked at it and he goes, "That's going to cost a lot of money." Now, at the time, it was what,
Oh,
$42, and he basically
Yeah.
said no. He said no, not buying it. It's too expensive. So literally, that was my story with Omega Supreme. Now, I did get him like years later, but at that time, that was something I really. That's when I fell in love with Omega Supreme.
When did I saw you on Twitter like posting the train set. When did that come out?
That
Actually,
came out in '85.
so that was like what, series 3 or something along those lines, or
Yes. Yeah. So the train set, because when I remember I first saw the train set commercial, because I love trains. I
yeah.
love trains. This is why I ride trains all the time, because I always love trains. So when I found out there was a Transformer train, and I remember we went, because there was a Toys R Us by my house. Now, mind you, it was the first Toys R Us that opened in Canada, where they had David Hasselhoff and Gary Coleman doing they were at that Toys R Us, you know, signing autographs and everything. And
I actually, yeah.
sorry? Oh,
No,
it's
no, no,
okay.
no. I'll tell you just now.
And then you would go into the train section at Toys R Us, and then you would see all the trains, and then you saw the Transformer train set, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, look at that! Like that is awesome." And then when you saw the commercial for the first time, where you can actually extend and transform the trains, so it was pretty wild. And then GI Joe came out with a train set as well, which I have. So literally just last week, I just pulled. I was just feeling, you know what, I wanna start playing with this again. So I pulled it out, and then I pulled out the Transformer race set as well. Put that together because it's like the Transformer race set's a glow in the dark, so that was a lot of fun. So it was just bringing back those memories.
I can imagine. I met David Hasselhoff when I was in, I don't know, grade 10. He came to South Africa with the Knight Rider. I
Kit.
don't know, promo. Yeah, I don't know if Kit was with, but it was a whole promo thing. And
Oh,
I was
nice.
I was living in Pretoria that year with my dad, and he took my sister and I to go and see David Hasselhoff. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, at that Toys R Us when David Hasselhoff and Gary Cole, you couldn't even get close because there were so many people, so many kids
Yeah,
there. Because they
yeah,
they brought the Trans Am there as well.
yeah.
So yeah.
Shame, and there was one little kid there that didn't matter what David Hasselhoff asked this little child. All he said was Knight Rider, in his little Afrikaans accent. Knight Rider. The poor child was starstruck.
I was like, it was when it Transformers, like it was all in until the movie came out, and they literally convinced me and my friends to put them off to the side. That's how bad that movie was for us.
So
Literally got home from the movie and said, well, like, I'm done. They killed every single favorite hero that we loved, and they didn't take much time to do it. Like, we only had like 2 seasons of like the G1, and then they did 2 seasons of, I guess, Rodimus's reign, and then they had to bring back Prime and the others because they were like, no one wants any of these toys.
yeah.
It was like, what? So yeah.
So I actually, and when I had Mo Zamboni on my channel, we talked about that. I actually cried in the theater because when Prime basically started to, when he said to Daniel, "Do not grieve," the tears started coming out of my eyes, and I'm just like, this isn't happening. This is not happening. And then there were other kids I saw beside me. They were crying. And I'm just like,
oh, it was a rough theater experience for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, what's going on here? You cannot kill Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
He is the leader of the Autobots, the most powerful Transformer ever built. And through that whole movie, I was just like, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, same. I watched the rest of the movie and even like, I hated Galvatron. I thought that was stupid. I hated that they took Thundercracker and all them and turned him into his little minion. Like all of it was just bad comedy. It just was. And then you're kind of watching the film going, okay, well, they're gonna bring him back, right? Like they're gonna bring him back. So I will say this is funny. I need to do a video on this. I should, but the IWD comic series. Did I get that right? IWD.
Yeah.
Transformers
IDW.
IDW. Yeah. IDW Transformers comic series was not
the greatest.
Good in my opinion. Like they kind of like. I feel like they started off good and then they ran out of ideas. Like I don't know what, but they put out a comic book kind of random that said if Optimus Prime didn't die. Right. And it was about how the movie would have gone if Optimus Prime didn't die in the movie. And you could literally tell the writer of that comic and the drawer hated everything Rodimus Prime and Ultraman, hated all those things because he let Prime win. And in the comic, he killed off all those other people. He killed off Hot Rod and all the new ones. He killed them all off. Unicron kills them all off at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy crap, dude. Like this guy definitely did not like what they did in that film. And he just he feel like he has a license to Transformers that he could course correct, so stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of funny. It's an older book, but it's like, could still do a video on it,
Yeah. So my whole thing was like, when you go back, because yeah, season 3 had its moments, but there was always, though, I don't know if you remember, but in season 3, there was always, they were always nitpicking how poor Rodimus Prime was as a leader. And then when they did the Return of Optimus Prime, you had that scene where Rodimus is looking at Optimus Prime's statue, and he's saying, why can I have been a leader like you were? Like I already know that, Optimus, And then they bring him back, but then jumpstart to season 4, but forget about Rebirth. But if you go back to Transformers the movie, then this is where I'm just coming back around. Where was the Protectobots? Where was Spark? Okay, I get it.
Technically, they were all killed off screen like they did with Wheeljack. Wheeljack, the creator of the Dinobots, literally was killed off screen, and they showed him dead on the ground for a half a second, just so they could like hurry up and get everybody dead.
But the thing is, the Protectobots and everyone, they were all in season. Like
I know it's so bad
because the whole thing is, if you got Autobot City, you have to have a medic. Like we all remember what happened in season 2 when Optimus got hurt or whatever. Sparkplug was there. Like even Carly had to repair Optimus Prime when they were stuck on the moon, right? Because she went to MIT and she knew how to fix these things, and she was a great help. So this is where I would fight with Hasbro. Is like, you had all these, like, where was Omega Supreme that day, right? Was he off planet?
Running errands.
Where things could.
Well, the thing is with the film is all right, so going back now, you're older, you watch the cartoon series, and it's like, I feel like they had like, they did some weird, like in season 2, it was like they did the time traveling thing, and you're kind of like, all right, are they running out of ideas? I don't know. And they could have done something, but because I think they went into the Transformers not thinking that the cartoon would be that big a deal, that they were just making 30-minute commercials for the toys. Their mindset was to sell toys, not a show. So it was kind of backwards. And I don't think they realized how popular, with how they took care of the movie, they definitely didn't realize how popular the movie was, or how popular Transformers was with the movie, because they went into the movie completely changing every bit of lore that we knew thus far. One shot kills, just things like that. They just went into it. We saw in the cartoon, like, people got shot up to pieces, and they just were like, all right, Ratchet to the rescue, and it just, or Teletran 1, all that stuff. It just was they just changed so they just remapped everything for the movie, which was very odd. And the movie starts off where the Decepticons have won, and Optimus Prime has a secret base, and they're getting ready to plan an attack. So the Autobots got their butts kicked somehow. We don't even know how. They just did. Decepticons were ruling, and they let freaking Laserbeak show up and, like, listen to the plans. Like, that was it. And you're like, what? And Laserbeak goes back, and Megatron's like, all right, let's go. I do like the fact that Starscream was still the executioner.
Yeah.
It seems like he always was, and they kind of kept that lore. Basically, if you don't, he was always the guy that that shot Megatron when he transformed.
Yeah.
So that was the first time, right, that we actually saw a Matrix. Like, we didn't understand what that was. Like, that was never talked about in the cartoon or anything. And
well, if you go back in season 2, remember the episode A Prime Problem, when Megatron made another Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
And remember when they were trying to figure out who's who, and then they had Teletran 1 scan.
Yeah.
And there was no Matrix.
Yeah.
Because they scanned his chest. Both.
Well, you gotta, like, even in the first season, they were still trying to figure out what the Transformers were, because the Autobots can fly.
Yeah.
Without a problem. And then it was like, I guess somebody there was like, that's not a good idea. What's the point in transforming into a plane or a car if they could just fly everywhere? It's like,
no, exactly.
And then, like, the next episode, Prime's like dangling off the, like, he's like holding on some bridge. And I'm like, didn't you guys fly in the last episode?
What's funny? Actually, I go back to A Prime Problem with because I like Starscream. Because remember, Megatron says to him, he goes, we have to convince my Optimus Prime to destroy one of us. And then Starscream's like, yeah, it has to be someone who's a leader whatsoever. And Megatron picks him, and he's like, what? The pride of the Cybertron War Academy? And then he, like, takes off, and then he, I think it was a Laserbeak that brought him back, and he says, it's not you, we're gonna kill your clone.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things I liked about Starscream is he even though he was the same voice as Cobra Commander, the late Chris Latta, he just had that instinct of doing things not only to further his goals, but to also take off Megatron so many times. So
he is such. I think the reason why I fell in love with Starscream so much, because his one-liners were great.
Yeah.
And every time Megatron tripped on a rock, he's like, well, I'm the new leader now. It's just, and yet he's an agent of chaos that is needed in the Decepticons. And technically he's number 2 in command.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to mess with him. Like, no one wants to fight for that. And Megatron keeps him around, even though Starscream is, like, pretty clear. One day I'm gonna kill you and take over the Decept. Like, he's, like, pretty clear in every episode. Yeah. And I'm like, why would you keep that person around? He's like, well, because I need him. He's my assassin. He's the best shot with the gun. Like, he's even though he's crazy and chaotic, he's I need him. I need someone. I think, like, Megatron needed someone that he could beat up in front of the others to maintain power, order, right? So he constantly was kicking Starscream around, and every time he said something, and it was just like, Yeah, it's like Sith Lord Apprentice stuff. I agree. But
Better the
Starscream was
enemy
so
you know.
chaotic. He was just so chaotic. Like he couldn't. I love Starscream. Let's be real. He could never lead the Decepticons. He's just too chaotic. He just can't. He's not smart enough. He's too chaotic. He might be he might be powerful enough, but he's just not. He's just too chaotic.
But he did a good job in doing the Combaticons.
Yeah, he made Bruticus. That brings me to
yeah.
like I had a guy make this. Look at that. That's a pretty cool. He hand drew the cover.
Hold on, Jay.
So that's no, you don't have to blow me up.
No, it's okay.
That's pretty cool.
That is nice.
Yeah, it was a blank Transformers comic, and then I had him draw that on there. So I was like, that's pretty neat.
Was that at the TFCon?
Yeah. Yeah. I like all the and then that goes to the it goes to the Skybound, where as much as I love Transformers, it just kind of was like on the back burner, they weren't really doing much in that I was interested in. And the newest TV series that came out was awful. I mean, it was pronouns and transgender transform, and you're just like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like, why would they do that? And then along comes Skybound, and at least for the first 25 issues, I saw my transform. Like, I saw what I always thought each character would have been. I thought they did Starscream perfectly. I thought they wrote Optimus Prime perfectly. I'm loving seeing RC, like her development in this comic book series. Alita 1 is everything that I thought, her and Ultra Magnet, like at least for the first one, the artist in my opinion, is just me. I think he's a turd. But he's tried to inject his politics into the Transformers, which is horrible. But he's no longer with the project anymore. And but I have to give credit where credit's due. Like, his artwork to me was like fantastic. Like, I love this cover right here that he drew of the boys, right? The boys were coming to take over Optimus Prime, and like this was the series where the big showdown was happening, issue number 22. It was like you get Megatron's back, Starscream is under control, Soundwave is there, everyone's back. You got Bruticus and Devastator together. They were coming. They had that fight won. They had the fight won. And if you remember, it was Starscream looking up at the stars and seeing Ultra Magnus fly by, and he remembered who he was, that he wasn't a crazy assassin killer, that he actually was a scientist. And for a moment in time, he became normal, and he literally saved Optimus Prime. Like, honestly, Starscream saved Optimus Prime, and Megatron got mad and just thought he killed him. But it was such a good episode. I was like, I loved it.
So I don't know if you remember, Jay, because I remember you asked me at one point, am I reading the Skybound? And I said no, because I wasn't too sure how this series would be. Will it be, because, okay, in the original G1 Marvel run,
yeah,
you had your handful of issues that were good and bad and good and bad. But then when you told me, yeah, you should be reading the Skybound. So when I got the Skybound 1 to 15, I was just like, okay, this is back to G1 lore.
Yeah.
They are doing things that reminded me of what the Transformer comics was about. So when that run, when 25 came out, I was just like, was it 25 with the new? Yeah. And then I was just like, oh my God, this is so good. And so I actually had faith again back into because with the IDW, I was just like, IDW was just trash. It was
it got pretty bad.
I was just waiting for something, and Skybound they put the faith back into me, where it's just like, this is Transformers again.
So this is what I did. This is an original Marvel Starscream. I think this is the death of Starscream right here. where Starscream kind of like takes over for like a second and he dies. But Starscream was horrible in this Marvel, in my humble opinion. They didn't really use him well. He was kind of like a clunky character, but you know, he was still there. But yeah, then we changed over to Skybound, where he was just written so well.
Well, you know
I don't
what?
like when you blow me up, man. Don't blow me up no more. I don't like it.
Well, they're just showing the comics. But you know what's funny though, because the one great issue was issue 9 in Marvel with him and Circuit Breaker.
Yeah, Circuit Breaker.
You know, that was, you know, and then kind of, you know, Starscream, because remember, Shockwave was still basically in command of everything, so he was still running the show, where Megatron just, you know, he was found and he came back, and then there was the battle between him and Shockwave, and then Prime dies, and then he's brought back. So the Marvel comic, that's why I said there was
trying to see if I have that one.
There were certain issues. Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I pretty much have the whole run. Because I know you have. I know you're probably going to show it. The greatest Transformer Marvel cover ever.
Yeah, but fortunately it is. You can't see it. It's on my wall. Let me see if I can move the camera up. Yeah, it's right there, along with Transformers #1, and yeah, it's right there. I have those special, like, up on the wall, along with the G.I. Joe issue #1, the first appearance of the Punisher, Star Wars #1, first appearance of Blade. Nice. And then my 3 favorite Starscream covers from Skybound. So they're all like on the wall. Now my camera's all jacked up.
So yeah, I want to go. I guess let's go back to the G1 Marvel run. Like, besides the handful of, like, issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then they introduced the Headmasters, and then they did that UK crossover. I don't know. What were your thoughts on the Marvel run?
I love that. That was like the few times where we got a G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. That was pretty well done. The other one was the G.I. That's the thing that they haven't really done very well. Like, this is from Skybound. That's the G.I. Joe Starscream. That's Duke. Yeah. So that's that special cover. But I love that that G.I. Joe was a part of that. And then it's interesting because Transformers, the comic, was supposed to be a limited run. Yeah. It's supposed to be like, man, your camera it's falling over. What are you doing?
Oh, you know what? It's the if I move, so if I go like this.
Oh, it's a face follower. Yeah. Yeah. So I love the G.I. Joe crossover, and then they threw in. They randomly, like, it was I think it was issue 5 or 6. They threw Spider-Man in there.
That was 3.
3, okay.
In his black outfit,
and so it was kind of like I think they did that just to try to get, like, people's attention, people's eyes on this new comic book series. So it's like, of course, you put your most popular character in there. People are going to buy it just because Spider-Man, people just buy Spider-Man comics no matter where he's at. They just that's how popular that character is. And then I think it kind of caught on a little bit, and they said, we're going to make a whole series out of it. And I had most of the Transformer Marvel series. Some of the storyline was very weird, like the death of Optimus Prime was very odd, and they put him in a floppy disk, just like waiting for, and then Grimlock became the leader, which I didn't have a problem with. It was just like, okay, then like they killed off Megatron like 3 weeks later or something, and it just was it's like they were trying to add a little shock and awe to get people more interested. And I could just literally see like the series just kind of, it just like they were running out of a story to tell.
Yeah.
Which is sad because, I mean, I guess you could say how long does this war has to happen? Like there's got to be a leader again. And going back to the Skybound, the first 24, they literally kind of came out and said, yeah, this is going to be like a complete story, but we're going to continue it. And the first 24 was so cool because the Autobots were just wrecked. Like they were a mess. They were like on 10% trying to figure out, while the Decepticons were like, once Megatron got back in the back in action, it was like, okay, we're getting our power back, and the way that they had Megatron restore Starscream to full capacity just to beat him up, to prove a point that I'm the leader, not you, and then brought him back and said, okay, now you're back on board, is I loved it, man. And the whole Thundercracker side story is freaking amazing. I love that. I don't know where that's going to go. I feel like there's a bigger twist coming, that Thundercracker might be playing like a double agent. I don't know, man. Like it, not to give out spoilers of the latest issue, but here's a little spoiler. In the latest issue, he has a talk with Soundwave, who's a prisoner, and he's trying to like have Soundwave like, look, you've been loyal to Megatron, and look what has gotten you. Like, look what has happened to you. Like, look what has happened to you. And and you see Soundwave like sitting there reminiscing over Ravage. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, it's funny how they I kind of, with Thundercracker's character in the Skybound, I kind of go back to the G1 cartoon where there was that episode, Fire on the Mountain.
Yeah.
When they had the Ruby, when they were in Peru, and when Starscream accused Thundercracker of stealing that bad metal, and Thundercracker says to Megatron, says to Starscream, you lie. And then Skywarp has to stay behind to watch them. But then at the end of that episode, where Thundercracker wasn't afraid to throw at Megatron.
Yeah.
He says, "What's the matter, fearless leader? You and Starscream look real geeky." And then he says, "Maybe the Autobots aren't such wimps after all." And then he flies off. So
that's what I'm saying. Like the writer really is grabbing little hints like that from the G1 cartoon and putting it in. There's all kinds of like cool little Easter eggs if you see them. Like when Prime first goes after Megatron in the Skybound, while he's running in the back, like the smoke coming out of the back has the words, the song. Basically, you got the touch, right? And I was like, that's freaking cool, man. That's freaking cool that they did that. And the fact that they have like Shockwave Shockwave is just like pure evil, and he tortures and stuff like it's just all like little taste from the old cartoon.
Yeah.
That they put it in the comics and they just kind of expound on it. And to give them a little shock is the fact that in the very first issue, they took a huge chance with Starscream killing Bumblebee in the first. Bumblebee, one of the most celebrated and favorite Transformers of all time, killing him off in the first like 3 pages, and he hasn't been heard of since. And showing Optimus Prime's pain through the series of him missing his friend Bumblebee, which tells me that he's probably going to come back as Goldbug, maybe, which is still pulling that from the cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like, and I love that. I love that they're doing that. So,
and I'll tell you, I never had a problem with Goldbug. Never did.
No, I didn't. But I think that's what's going to happen. And then the fact that they randomly threw in the aerial bots.
Yeah.
Like how, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're bringing the aerial bots in quick. I was like, holy crap, dude.
Well, even
And then
in the,
see, here's the thing: one of them's dead, so they can't combine.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I wonder if Thundercracker will take their place in one of the issues just for coolness sake, you know? I don't
yeah.
know.
Well,
But
like
these are machines. How dead can they ever really be? If it's a machine, it can just be brought back to life, surely.
it's not that simple in the
Just
Transformers universe.
recondition the. Yeah, I'm just thinking, you just recondition the engine or something.
You know,
There's always opportunity to bring. I mean, they brought Optimus back.
well, the, see
Not
the
that
thing
I'm
with
thinking like a girl.
no. Well, the thing with Optimus is even in season 4 Japanese Headmasters, they took him out again. And then he didn't come back till later because Galvatron was reformatted back into Megatron, and then he was even a bigger threat. So that's when they had to bring Optimus Prime, where he actually became Star Convoy. So he
Yeah.
was, so
So
yeah, it's
yeah. Maybe
it's
you'll
very
get
thin.
Bumblebee back, Jay.
Jay, I was going to ask you, how confident are you with this new anime series that's going to be based off of the Skybound?
That's just, I don't know. Like, well, you know how on paper it sounds like a good idea, and when we've been saying this from other IPs, all you have to do is stick to what is written, and that's what we want to see. You don't have to make it for a modern audience. You don't have to make it you don't have to like change it up and think it's better. What was written is good enough. That's what we want to see on the screen. Why can't you make that happen? That was like a big problem I had with Michael Bay films.
Well,
It's like people went and watched the Michael Bay films. They're like, oh, it's cool. It's like, yeah, it's like straight up fan fiction for me. Like, that's just where we are. Like they got a little weirder as time went on.
Oh, yeah.
Like where I'm like, what are they making up here? Like they're just like making up stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the Autobots were hiding on the moon and all. I'm like, what are they doing? And then like how they made Galvatron was like weird. Like it just was. I was like, you as a Transformers fan, you watch that and you're just like, but they kept making them because
they're making money.
They made a ton of money, and people love, for what it's worth, people love them. Even the ride at Universal Studios, which I go on every time because it is all geared off the Michael Bay films. So, and it's like there's just parts of it where in the Michael Bay, like my heart hurts. Like when they made Devastator, and you're like, oh, why? Starscream was a turd. Like, sorry, I keep saying turd because I see Turd Ferguson in the chat. Starscream was a nobody.
Yeah, he was a nobody,
and he got killed by the humans. And you're just like, okay. And then it's like Michael Bay never answers any questions. Like when new Transformers were made, what happened to the old ones? They just disappeared.
Yeah,
it's like the Dino bots were created by Wheeljack. Everybody knows that, but no, he hasn't. I don't even think Wheeljack's been in the series at all.
No,
like the Michael Bay thing, but
he was there. I think he was in. I want to say he was in Agent Extinct. No, Revenge of the Fallen. No, he wasn't. I'm thinking Mirage.
They just brought him in, and then you never heard from him again, and you're just kind of like, so weird. But
you know what? It's funny because when the first Transformers movie came out,
the Michael
Bay.
Yeah.
I went to go watch it. I left. It was just like, whatever. And I remember my dad said to me, he goes, how many times did you watch that movie? I said, once. Why? Well, I figured you would have watched that like 20 times.
Yeah.
How much you love Transformers. And I was like, no, I never saw such utter trash in my life.
Yeah.
And I know they pulled the spark from Beast Wars. I know they pulled that, but my one problem with it was the fact that the Bonaventure, Adventure, whatever, and Hasbro basically said to General Motors, we want you to put your cars in our movie.
Oh,
And I'm
General
just
Motors
like,
paid a ton of money for that advertisement.
yeah,
You know
and
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
and-
like especially because I remember reading about that. So Bumblebee was the Camaro that
yeah.
wasn't released yet for purchase.
Yeah, it wasn't out yet. Yeah.
So it was going to be like 2 years after the film to get it all hyped up for people to buy, or a year or so, whatever it was, like to buy the Camaro. And it's like, that's the thing too. You see the Volkswagen Bug and I'm like, oh man, there's Bumblebee. And then they like make fun of it. You know, it's like, okay.
You know, you make and that's why I hated Starscream. You made him into an F-22. I'm sorry, but there's still
And he looked all
F-15s are
weird
still
and like
and they look the problem with the Transformers is they look fat and clunky. And because I even said to somebody that one scene where Tyrese and them were in the desert with Scorponok. I'm sorry, but if that was the real Scorponok, you guys would have been toast.
5 seconds.
Yeah, it would have been over. And I'm sorry, but you were not hurting Transformers with bullets because I remember that episode when in the G1 cartoon when Megatron laughed at the humans saying, "What, you're gonna hurt us with bullets?" You know, I was just like,
I don't even know what Megatron was.
He was
he turned into a jet?
Yeah, he was a Cybertronian jet.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was.
And I was just like, what garbage is this? And then Revenge of the Fallen. I hated, sorry, I'm not a fan of Shia LaBeouf, but I hated Sam Witwicky's character.
Oh, yeah,
it had nothing to do with, and, you know, Carly running through. Now, I heard that the one CIA lady, they were originally going to name her Marissa Fairborn from the season 3, Lady J's daughter, but they changed that. So, and I, you know what? I tolerated Age of Extinction because I like Kelsey Grammer's character. Like I tolerated that. I
gotta tell you, I like Rise of the Beast. That out of all the films, I don't think that's a Michael Bay film. That was my favorite one. Put it that way.
No, that was the director who said, we gotta make this movie for a black and Hispanic audience.
But they had Unicron in it, and like, they combined like Beast Wars, and then at the end it was a G.I. Joe reference, you know?
Yeah. So, in going back, I just want to go back. The only time,
go ahead.
I only liked the G.I. Joe reference in season 3 is when they had Cobra Commander in the Only Human episode. You know, when he yells out Cobra, I love the part when they're taking away Victor Draft and how Cobra Commander's walking down the street and he goes, you know, they just don't make terrorists the way they used to, and he puts his arms out and goes Cobra, and then with the cough, and then Marissa Fairborn, Flint and Lady J's daughter, who played a pivotal plot in season 3 because she was in a lot of the episodes. And then it was finally I think Flint Dill, one of the writers, said yes, that was Flint and Lady J's daughter who was in that. So that's why I love that reference to season 3. Now hopefully whatever they try to do especially with the Duke comic was fantastic.
Yeah.
I like how they did that with the Transformers. I just don't want them to get too far out of whack because I'm not gonna lie, I don't care for the mask reference.
Okay.
I just think, like, so I have the Hasbro Revolution set where it has Transformers, G.I. Joe, Mask, Micronauts, Visionaries. I just think I don't want this to become a Marvel multiverse.
Oh yeah.
In the Transformers and G.I. Joe realm. That's why, you know, I'm cool with the G.I. Joe, but if they start bringing in Mask, and then if they bring in Micronauts, and then if they bring in Cops, because Cops is part of the Hasbro, they can bring in Gem. Who knows? My Little Pony. Who knows what they can do? You know, that's where I'm afraid of.
Feeling like Mayhem in there.
Mayhem's okay, but like I said, but the one thing I hate is they race swap.
Wait till you reach 26.
Yeah. Oh, I know about Matt Tracker's race swap. They made him black. which is stupid. You know.
But yeah, like that was a thing. Like when Michael Bay movies came out, I was like, it was the only thing that I really liked was hearing Peter Cullen do Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and
but everyone that loved Transformers, like my brother, like you watch that film and are like,
Well, the one thing that was really disappointing was when Michael Bay or whoever told Frank Welker, because they didn't bring Frank Welker back for Megatron. They brought Hugo Weaving to play Megatron.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, because they said his voice wasn't good enough. Like, I'm sorry, but right now, the new Roboson Soundwave is Frank Welker's voice. And that's 2020, that's like 2025, 2026, they, you know, that Roboson Soundwave's coming out. And they wouldn't let him play Megatron back in what, 08 or whenever that came out. It was ridiculous. So, Anjanette, you had there were some questions in the chat for Jay.
Yeah, but that was like 6,000 years ago. You guys talk up a storm. People actually had a whole lot of nice questions for you guys that he posted on X. And he wanted to know which was the favorite from each season. So that might be a bit much to cover. But which were your favorite from each season? Which was your favorite from each season?
Episodes?
Yeah, he wanted to know which was your favorite episode from each season.
My favorite episode is when Starscream went to church.
Oh, the God Gambit.
Yeah.
Starscream went to church and they said a prayer or scripture somewhere. I remember. Yeah.
He said, he said, here is the church.
Yeah.
Here, where is the steeple? Open the door, and where are the people? and then Astrotrain grabbed Starscream and said, stop your wrangling.
Yeah.
And then Thrust points over. He's like, there are the people.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine.
Starscream went to church, y'all. Y'all just didn't know.
Yeah. So mine was okay. So fire in the sky. That's the one when Starscream and Sky basically found Skyfire. That ending got to me when Skyfire crashed into the ice and got buried. And then when they were all, you know, they're all hanging around, you know, and Spike was kind of crying and like he's like, Skyfire's gone. And then Prime's like, he'll never be forgotten, Spike, as so long as freedom exists. And then when he says, we shall remember, and everyone then says, we shall remember. So that was one of my.
Did you shed a tear too?
Not really, but it was really because Skyfire is this new character that just came out, and it was basically he took back out Starscream because Starscream was his friend. Like even that one when Starscream shot at him, I was just like, oh my God, what are you doing? He was your friend, you know, because they were scientists before the war.
Yeah.
So it was kind of.
Did he change his name to Jetfire?
So originally he was Jetfire.
Oh, when he became an Autobot, he went to Skyfire.
No, he was Skyfire. He just switched. Jetfire was the Hasbro toy, the Macross Robotech, which they weren't allowed to use anymore. That's why there's that one commercial that has him.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then if you see the actual Skyfire behind me, right? So that's because it was all a whole bunch of legal stuff between Hasbro and Takara and whoever. But and then the other was Autobot Spike was another episode I loved when Spike got turned into an Autobot. Yeah. And then The Secret of Omega Supreme was another one of my favorites. So that was my favorites.
I like Starscream creates Bruticus.
Starscream's Brigade.
Yeah, and then he also, I want to say Starscream finds the Insecticons. So
no, he wasn't in that episode. That was Thundercracker.
Starscream
Soundwave.
Didn't find the Insecticons.
No. So that was the plight. Huh?
I said it's been a minute since I've seen.
Yeah. So that was, It was Megatron, Thundercracker, and Soundwave and Ravage who found them.
Okay. I thought that was a cool episode because the Insecticons would just like eat everything.
Yeah. They just eat everything. Oh, the other episode I like was Child's Play. It was the one at the beginning when the Decepticons were at the baseball stadium, and then the general manager of the stadium, they were yelling at the Decepticons because they want to play baseball, but the Megatron and the Decepticons had the space bridge, and then Skywarp and Soundwave was playing catch with a human, and then Thrust put baseballs in his arm, in his gun, and the guy at the bat was like trying to hit them. So that was a great episode. It was pretty funny. There was a lot of comedy.
Tell me, which was your favorite character that was introduced with every season? Jay, go first.
Favorite character? I mean, I'm a Starscream Homer, so, and I mean, Omega Supreme. I love seeing Soundwave versus Blaster. I thought that was cool. I even like the oh my goodness. When they introduced the Dinobots again, like going back to Skybound, Wheeljack finds a dinosaur bones, and he's like, "That's interesting." It's like such a callback to the G1. Yeah. I loved Wheeljack. Wheeljack wasn't really the medic, but he kind of was, you know. And Wheeljack was always helping out with Ratchet, but Wheeljack was like the Spock, maybe. He was able to like invent stuff and create things to help them. So, and he didn't have a
mad scientist.
His ears glue when he talked. It's like
yeah, he was a mad scientist basically.
Yeah, I loved Wheeljack. So I could tell you, I never liked Shockwave at all, even though he was a cool character. But I what the heck? Drunk3P0. Thank you. What a name.
I like Shock. So I would say my favorite.
I thought he was like a Megatron wannabe because he transformed into a gun too and all that stuff.
But he was a big gun too. But I would say what my favorites were Optimus. Rumble was one of my favorites because of Rumble's size and the fact that he was a street punk, you know, and he wasn't afraid to take on guys bigger than him. And he always had that almost that vernacular of well, and you can thank Rumble for basically creating he stole all the cars for the Stunticons. So, and then Omega Supreme is one of my favorites. Astro Train is a favorite of mine. When it comes
I like
to
Ultra Magnus of like one of the other
I was going to
Ultra Magnus was great.
Yeah, I was going to say Ultra Magnus is one of my favorites. I like Cyclonus. I think Cyclonus is pretty cool. And mind you, I do like Galvatron because Frank Welker came back in season 3 to play his voice like he originally did for Megatron. And there were some episodes where he kind of went a little crazy. Like even in season 4, I don't know if you ever saw this, Jay, but he had this bright idea of, because Unicron was destroyed, but he had an idea of turning himself into Unicron. So basically he was going to go to all the Decepticons and get all their parts so he can be. And that goes back to the one where Megatron gets all their power chip rectifiers, but he wanted to be a Unicron. And so, but the Autobots stopped him and they buried him in the Arctic. So
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Oh, Risk It right there. Risk It's asking Jetfire is one of his favorites. So I'm just showing him.
Mine too.
And then you can see some Jetfires boxed behind me. And then my camera is going.
He's doing your weird thing again.
Yeah. So any other questions?
Yeah. Which toy did you always want as a kid but never got?
as a kid, but never got. I mean, I have them now.
Yeah, but when you were a kid, you really wanted it to be
Soundwave.
just-
Everybody loves Soundwave because of the cassettes.
Yeah.
That was the greatest because he could have, multiple from Buzzsaw and Rumble, Ravage, all of them.
Frenzy.
He had like 6 of them, did he not?
Yeah, at
He had
the end,
Laserbeak and Buzz. So when you bought the toy, it came with Buzzsaw, who wasn't in the cartoon really that much. It was
Yeah.
Laserbeak was like more the stars, which was weird that they did it that way. Then they had Rumble and Rumble's like little brother, which was called
Frenzy.
Yeah, Frenzy. That's right. They did the same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. But he was a punk too, so.
And then of course everyone's favorite was Ravage. So I thought that was pretty. I always wanted that one because it was just the little cassettes we would keep in our pockets, and you know what's weird? Like, did Blaster? They never had cassettes for him, right?
Yeah. They brought out cassettes. They brought out Ramhorn, Eject, Rewind, and
yes,
Steel Jaw.
Rewind. Okay, yeah. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Memories
Holy
going
crap.
there.
Actually, Jay, I'll just show you quickly.
Ah, look at that beauty. There he is. I love it.
Wow.
I see. That's the thing. It's like someone could literally just take G1 cartoon a little bit, or even the Skybound one and make live action. We have the technology to make it look good, and they could just look like what we remember.
Yeah.
Not them clunky bunky things that they have, So
Well, I'll tell you, I did order the Robosen Soundwave.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the most expensive new Transformer I have ever bought. So,
They do good work, man. They do good work.
They do. Like, I do have the Optimus Prime. That's the only one I bought. I didn't buy Megatron because I don't believe Megatron's a tank. I didn't buy Grimlock because I thought Grimlock was too clunky, and I didn't buy Bumblebee. So but when I saw the Soundwave, I was like, Soundwave is actually a working Bluetooth as well. So I got that. So I'm waiting for that to come. But yeah, I was just like, I bit the bullet, and I was like, okay, I'm getting him. I got him before I got the early bird because he wasn't cheap. He was not, especially in Canadian. He was not cheap. So.
But it would be probably a fortune in South African.
It cost me. It was 1,500.
Yeah, well, that's like 150,000 this side.
So I was just like, you know what?
No.
Kohlhaas has got to save his money for Japan next year.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to China. We're planning to go to China sometime this year, so we could line up if I know when. We could possibly.
I know you guys can hear me. I don't know why my camera froze.
No, Japan. Japan will be a lot of fun. And because now I think I said that I said it in the chat when you mentioned it, because Japan is known for the OG Transformers.
Oh yeah,
and they got the stores, especially the Diaclone, the original. They're still out there in Japan. So yeah, going to Japan to buy Transformers, why not? Sushi and Transformers, you can't beat that combo.
Yeah, that's a lethal combo. Any ideas for toys if you had to do your own toy? What do you think's a trick they've missed? Something they should have done by now and they haven't.
You know what? They brought some, like, they did bring out like they finally brought out an Alita 1. But
yeah,
some of the female Autobots they did.
RC never got a toy.
She got a missing Link toy and a masterpiece. So, but not an original Hasbro. Hasbro, the missing Link basically is the same, but they did bring out a Robo Scout for Soundwave. I don't know if you remember that. Well, in a Prime Problem, they had a Robo Scout where he ejected, and it went on 3 wheels, and it basically took samples. So they finally brought that out. But yeah, I don't know.
When does the USS Flag come in? You got one?
No, Mozamboni is going to try to find one in his area at the one show.
Oh,
As
So-
cool as
it's in the bag.
there was one kid in my neighborhood that had that, and it was like, yeah, we thought he, was Richie Rich. It's like only the kids that had that kind of money had that freaking USS Flag, and then and then he's the same kind of kid that was like, don't touch it, you could look at it, you could sit around and watch me play with it. It's like, man, kiss off, Billy.
Yeah.
And even if I bought it today, I have no room for that thing. It's massive.
7.5 feet.
It's massive, dude.
I knew a guy who had one, and I remember I asked them, do you like, and this was maybe like 10, 15 years ago. I asked him, do you still have the flag? He says, yeah, do you want it? Now, mind you, he didn't have the box or anything like that, but I said, yeah. So he went over to his parents' house, and he said, oh, his cousins destroyed that. Like they destroyed it. So they were playing with it, and it was done. So I was like, oh, okay. So.
Oh, damn. People ask, Carl Hauser, if you see any G1 Dinobots, please take a photo of them.
You know what?
Jay, have you got Jay?
I have a couple, but you know what? The best thing to do is go to one of the TFCon shows, the Transformer conventions. They sell them all. They have them all there. And Jay will tell you how big, because he came to the one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did you see what Pale Horse Hitchhiker said? He's got 2 flags set up right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorite.
Carl Hauser too. You need to make him an offer there.
So cool.
That looks nice.
That's the boys, man. That's the boys.
Yeah, it's funny because so Masterpiece Broadside, who's an aircraft carrier / jet / robot, they're coming out with a fans toy. They said it's going to be pretty big, but not USS Flag big. So
yeah, which do you think is the most overrated episode?
Yeah, man, 9-9. Look at that, baby.
Look at that. That's nice.
Starscream foil cover. It's freaking awesome.
That's nice.
I love it.
Which is the most overrated episode?
Anything with Rodimus Prime in it.
There was a lot. There was some bad episodes. Well, you know what?
As you can tell, I don't like Rodimus Prime or Hot Rod.
Yeah. Ultra Magnus should have been the leader. Well, Optimus Prime should have stayed leader, but if anyone who was going to be the leader should have been Ultra Magnus.
The Magnus, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They made a whole bunch of bad episodes here and there, so I don't know. Because it was the one company, ACOM, but you know what? One of the best episodes they ever made was Japanese style anime, was Call of the Primitives. It's when all the animal transformers got together. That was to fight Primacron, who Primacron was the creator of Unicron. So that was a great episode.
Did you ever collect these?
I got the original G1 cards.
That's the Starscream, one of them. Yeah. That's the foil Starscream.
Oh, there goes your camera again.
Yeah, it's just when I turn my head, that's all.
Yeah. You can turn that off if you want to.
Yeah, I was actually looking for it.
Yeah, there is a setting somewhere. Actually, we don't have to do it now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think I've got all these questions.
Probably the most valuable thing that I own is this right here.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Like the old Obi-Wan, like the very first Obi-Wan
Alec
Kenobi
Guinness
card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even grab it.
When I needed a new car, I'll have to sell that one. That's it.
Actually, Jay, I'm going to show you something. me see if I can grab it here. Since you showed yep, I can grab it. Since you showed yours.
I hear rustling and bumping sounds going on over there.
Yeah, I just
Well,
grabbed
ours is in a box somewhere.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, I'll just do it myself.
Oh, I see it. Clone Wars. Yeah.
This is the Gentle Giant.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and clone armor.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, ours is this your very first oh man, your very first episode with bragging rights in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
well, how many Anjanette have we done of these Transformers shows? We've done maybe what 6 or 7, 5 or 6, 7.
No, I'm sure we're in about 8 now.
Okay.
No, we've done two. Yeah.
Well, well, and again too, because Jay's been like, me and Jay talked about this before, and it was funny because when was it? It was like it was quite a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jay calls me, and we were only supposed to be on the phone for like 10 minutes, and because he was doing something, and then we just got into Transformers, and then it was like an hour later. So because
I was like, dude, I gotta go, man.
We're talking about our passion, our love.
Yeah.
You know,
and
because
time flies. You don't even notice time when that happens.
You know, and I remember when I met Jay at when I came to Orlando, I brought him a Starscream because I know how much he loves Starscream. And then even at MegaCon, Bruce got him some Starscreams. I got him some Starscreams.
It was awesome.
You know, it was just, you know, it's our love for the toys, and like I said, my background here is just a small percent of what I have, you know, because I'm actually going to start getting some cases, and I'm going to start putting them in. Like, I got 3 Metroplexes where I'm going to put them the original. I'm going to do a nice shelf for each mode: city, battle station, and robot. So, and these are the things I miss and enjoy, because Transformers, and that's why I brought out the train sets and the race car sets, because this is the stuff I grew up on, and this is the stuff I love, I enjoy. So, and I'm only pretty much here because it was Jay who said, "Why don't you start a channel and talk about your toys and stuff like that?" And I was just like, "Okay, sure." You know, why not?
Jeanette that kicked your ass to eventually start doing it. Sorry, we're in Africa. I'm swatting mosquitoes and flies.
So I love doing this because, like I said, this is my passion. This is what I love. So and that's why I know Jay, he said, yeah, once I get Daughter's Revenge out, you know. Oh, by the way, do we have an update on the book numbers?
Bruce is always on top of that.
Still the same.
Okay.
But sometimes it doesn't update. Like, sometimes it takes some time, but it's still pretty good.
Well, you're up to 295 subs.
Oh, awesome.
I just want to see an update on that as well.
5 away
Guys,
from 300.
Carlos is only like 5 away from 300.
Look at that.
If anyone hasn't, 1130.
Oh, look at that.
Has it gone up, Jay?
What's
1130.
No,
yeah, 1130.
Has it gone up? Yeah, so it's gone up from where were you at the beginning of the show?
I'm pushing to 2,000. We're gonna try to get 2,000 by next weekend. So we'll see how it goes.
It's doable.
It's doable. It is doable.
Listen, if I will buy one, and if one of you keeps it for me, and if I'm ever there, or if I know of someone that's coming this side, because the South African, the import duties, you end up paying. I end up, every time I buy books from you guys, I end up paying like 4 times what.
I know. That's why I always tell you, like, don't stress. Don't stress.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I've got the Achromatic Chronicles. In fact, they're sitting right here.
Oh, nice.
Still in their little plastic wrappers, because once the grandchildren finished reading them, I just slipped them back in. And those books still look like brand new. So, yeah. And then I've got
Nice.
Gary's book, which I haven't
Oh,
started.
Marion B says it went up to. Yeah, sometimes other, like, you know, when the site refreshes on some people and not on others. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you'll
and
hit 2,000 easy.
yeah, and so like if everyone's come to whoever's come to Megatron, at MegaCon, you know, there's Jay's going to be signing some books.
yeah,
So,
yeah, we're gonna be giving some stuff away too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic run that you did, Jay.
Yeah.
Like I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
For
man.
what you've been able to accomplish and do this with the Achromatic Chronicles and now Daughter's Revenge. This is fantastic. And the Vindicta, you know,
It's
I
cool.
fell in love with the skull. Like, and I
Yeah.
and I remember I got my 9-line jacket, the hoodie, you know, and you got the big Vindicta crossbones on the back. It's just amazing.
Oh, that is such a nice hoodie. I will tell you, Donna Hall treated me to that. Thank you so much, Donna. And that hoodie is amazing because it's lightweight. So it's
Yeah.
not like you're wearing, especially in African heat, but it's warm. It's really a cool hoodie. Really, really nice. And of course, the only one in South Africa, I'm pretty damn sure.
So
And then I'm stuck in Jeffrey's where no one will ever see it, except I did go to Cape Town with it. So
nice. Donna was asking how much was shipping at Gary's book to you.
Man, I think I could look it up quickly. It wasn't that bad. I think it was $30-something, which is like 10,000 in South African rand. I kid. It's about 1,200 in our money to ship it. But the thing is, when it got here, I had to pay another 700 rands, which is about $35, to get the frickin' thing because they charged import duty. So that's why I say, you know, they just screw you when it comes to the import duties. It's the same with when Donna sent me the hoodie. I ended up buying the hoodie literally with import duties because it probably cost double what Donna paid for it there. So yeah, the import duties just kill everything. So the best thing for me to do is to actually buy it, and then one of you can just ship it to a client. That I've got a few clients in America, and one of them can just bring it back for me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my plan of action next time.
Yeah. So Jay, I know, you know, with the big schedule you got going for this year, what's the most excited one you're looking forward to?
It's hard to say because every
area is
everyone
different. I
is
get it.
everyone is different, and I just have like a great time hanging out with people, you know, like Transformers Con was awesome, especially when we did the meetup in the restaurant. It was freaking at the hotel. It was awesome to see. X-Ray Girl even came by. And the next day, the other creator from the Ripasend was also in the area. He came by. He's like, next time you guys are in town, we'll do a big thing. And I'm like, well, absolutely. So it's just like all these connections, you know. MegaCon is always good, but exhausting, because so many people in town. I want to see everybody, and it's just you only have so much time in the day and so much attention you could give people, you know. It's like that's why I was glad like last year Cole Hauser came early, so we got to hang out like before like the masks came in.
Yeah,
so we got to hang out and up at Universal Studios. It was nice. And you know, it's just like, for what it's worth, I am looking forward to going to Times Square next week. So taking a nice train ride. I need to unplug a little bit and not be on like any of the devices and just enjoy the calm train ride. I'm going to read some, and then got some people going to hang out with me there in the freezing cold of New York. And, you know, there's just so many places. Like I plan on being at Dallas Fan Expo and San Antonio GalaxyCon. I believe that's the plan anyway. If not, it might just have to be one. We're gonna Spider Unlimited, and Bruce was in the chat. We're planning on doing a St. Augustine eventually. I need to get on that as well. And already, at least with my Patreon members, we're already talking about going to Japan next year.
Yeah.
Kind of threw that in there, and it's like we need to go to Japan, like, because life can move pretty fast. It's like we could always say I'll do it next year, but it's like let's just go. Let's just freaking go.
Yeah.
So, when you mentioned it, I was just like, you know what? Because I've been talking about Eldridge and everything, but yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'm down. I can do Japan.
You gotta be my ride partner at Disney. So it's like you gotta get more of those videos. Yeah. Hopefully by that time I'll have like the recording glasses, it'll be a little easier than me like trying to hold a camera while we're going on a roller coaster. So
well, I gotta say, because when we did the park hopping at Canada's Wonderland, that was a lot of fun.
That was great.
That was it was just, when the one crazy was the whitewater, the one with the raft where we all got soaked, where all the water just came in. We all got drenched, but it was a hot day, so we dried pretty quickly.
Yeah. So listen, guys. Sorry, hot news. Carl Hauser is on 299. Who is going to be number 300? Because that is just freaking awesome. I'm so chuffed. And Carlos, don't you have merch that you wanting to bring to Con as well when you come through?
Yeah. What, for MegaCon?
Yeah, I'm sure you said you're wanting to bring some merch down.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because some people have been asking me, where can I get these Praise of Raw shirts? Because I saw everybody wearing, like, I saw Jay, I saw Ryan, I saw Nagnaral wearing
Sydney
these Praise
Sweeney.
of Raw. Yeah,
Sweeney.
Yeah, the Sydney Sweeney one I did with the hoodie. So yeah, I'm having some made and I'm gonna bring them down. So
dude,
303.
305.
Awesome.
Look at
that.
Thank you, chat.
Now you've got 305.
Oh, nice.
Now, yeah, I just refreshed. You guys in chat.
Shout out Cole Hauser. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Oh. Thank you, everybody. And thanks for everyone being here. Thanks for
that champagne. Cheers.
Thanks for everyone being here, and and thanks for
that's
Jake
really awesome
coming on the channel. The one thing I just want to mention regarding MegaCon is if you're planning on coming on MegaCon, if you're looking at doing some toy shopping, go on the Thursday. Because the Saturday, you can't move in that place. So I learned to do all my shopping on the Thursday, and I got everything I was looking for. So, but I am looking forward to heading down to MegaCon again, going to doing the Universal night, and going to the panels and seeing everybody again, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It must be fun meeting everyone that you see in chat, and that you sort of meet online, to actually put a face to the name and all of that. That must be really fun.
You know what? I'll tell you, because when I first met Jay, at Toronto Fan Expo when he was here with Gina. So I got there, and there was a big lineup. So I walked up, and one of the security guards came over to me. He's just like, "Oh, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm here to see Jay over there." So the guy walked over to Jay, and then Jay saw me, and Jay's like, just come up. So, and Toronto was just crazy, because that convention was just nuts. But we had a really good time. It was a lot of fun, and you get to meet other people that were there, other people in the chat you meet and talk to and get to know. So I was lucky to meet a lot of you in the chat that was at MegaCon last year. So it was a lot of fun.
I have a visual though. You're probably easy to spot at a con anyway, because you just look for the head.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I have to skedaddle. I've been like, this guy's been waiting for me to call him at 6:30, like I said, and I put in the private chat, but you guys didn't see it.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, Jay.
It's all good. It's all good.
But
it's an honor. But you guys close the show out. Close the show out. It's all good.
I just want to say, Jay's gonna be on Project Egg Roll tonight.
Yeah.
So catch Jay on
Once
Project
all
Egg
this
Roll
book
tonight.
stuff settles down and I have more time, I'd love to come back and go through
Yeah.
some more Transformer stuff.
All right.
Easy.
Good.
But hey, thanks for people that picked up the book. Thank you, Cole Hauser, and thanks for getting Cole Hauser to 300. It's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
And close out the show, brother. It's your show. Close it out.
Closing it out.
Anniversary to G.I. Joe. 199, yo Joe. 40th anniversary, huh?
No, a real American hero. That's what he means.
Oh.
A-R. Yeah, a real American hero.
I thought that was just like coming from the perspective of a Chinese Muslim. Like, praise Allah. That's what I thought that was.
I'm sorry, she made it wrong, but then when you brought the Chinese Muslim into it.
There you go. Praise Allah. Come get my she chicken.
Oh, shit.